Okay, my name is Larry Fliegelman. I'm a principal from Massachusetts, and the way I model for my staff, because my staff in a sense become my students, is at faculty meetings I bring a new tech tool or a new practice or something that we've been working on, and I model it. I actually do the same kind of work with the staff that I might be asking them or hoping that they will do with the students.
Hi, I'm Dan Callahan. I'm a technology integration specialist for Pine Glen School in Burlington, Massachusetts. And one of the ways that I model for my students is that I try to show them that you can figure things out for yourself. I'll just mention to them, you're doing Gluckster, did you know you can put YouTube videos in there? See if you can figure it out. A few kids will go figure it out, and then they start to show the other kids.
I'm Gerald Oxt. I'm the supervisor of gifted education in the Cheltenham School District, which is in the Philadelphia area here. I don't work directly with students anymore, but in my role as a supervisor, I try to model for my teachers the things that I want them to do with their students. So, for example, I would never ask them to do something that I haven't done myself or that I'm not willing to do myself. And if there's some sort of a corollary, for example, if there's a way that I want them to interact with their students, I try to model that in the way that I interact with them in meetings and in conversations and that sort of thing.
I'm Patrick Larkin from Burlington High School in Burlington, Massachusetts. And I try to model every day. I have my own principal's blog that I started. We don't do any more newsletters, so we're really trying to model to cut back on some of the paper use. I also teach a Web 2.0 class, which is new this year, so I'm trying to model for students. I find my students use technology for social reasons and not really for constructive reasons. So both from a teacher standpoint and student standpoint, on an everyday basis, I try to show them how to use this stuff to make their job easier, communicate, collaborate, and we're going to be a one-to-one school next year, so we're really excited about that as well.
Hi, I'm Ann Lenis, and I am currently teaching at Martin Luther King High School in Philadelphia. I model for my students in many ways. I never do anything with them that I haven't done for myself first. A lot of times when I'm doing writing, I model right there in the classroom. I write right in front of them so that they can see that it's a process that we all go through. When we do podcasts, I model for them how to create them, and then I also have them create the podcast and show them to underclassmen. I model outside the classroom just through the connections I make with my kids, showing them kindness and compassion and teaching them how to treat others with kindness and compassion, and just connecting in many ways.
Hi, I'm Lynn Hilt. I'm a K-6 principal in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and I model for my teachers and students the power of collected learning. I try to be transparent in what I'm doing and sharing through my daily updates to them. We have a wiki that we've developed so I can share ideas. I offer to go into the classrooms and model certain lesson techniques using technologies that my teachers are interested in, that my students are interested in. We post a lot of student work and share with other schools and connect with other schools, and I also take a lot of time to work with my administrative team because they're just getting started on this adventure, and I like to model for them what it's done for me and how beneficial it's been.
My name is Nicholas Provenzano. I'm a high school English teacher. I'm an edge blogger at the nerdyteacher.com. I model for my students every single day. Sometimes it's hard to even think about how much a teacher models because it's so natural in what we do every day when reading aloud to them, showing them examples of writing, thesis statements, and transitional statements and correct vocabulary. So modeling is important, that it needs to be a natural part of every single classroom so students can pick up on that and start to use it and then model for other kids in class as well.
Hi, my name is Kathy Brophy. I am a district technology integrator in Somersworth, New Hampshire. And the way I model for my teachers and students is I try to bring a sense of compassion and personal touch to everything I do. I work with students and teachers in grades K through 12. I'm the only technology integrator in the district for 1,200 students, 200 teachers, and when they need me, and I try to make every person that sits in front of me my top priority when I have a chance to do that, whether it be a student or a teacher. So for me, it's providing that personal touch and building a relationship with whomever I'm working with.
Hi, I'm Kathy Higgins, and I work at the State Department of Education. I work hard at trying to model because I've just decided that it's especially important for not just teachers but for administrators to walk the talk, and so I try to introduce them to a lot of different web tools, and I try to use them and just really move them through really a small subset of all the many tools that are out there, and try to use it in authentic ways. But I try to do that because I think once they have the experience in a way that has meaning for them in their own projects in their course, it seems like they go, wow, I realize this could be really powerful. And to me, that's important. So I think I would say that's how I model.
Hi, my name is Alec Koros, and I'm at the Faculty of Education at the University of Regina in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. And so the question was, how do I model? How do I model really teaching and learning, I think, is probably where I'm going at. In terms of what I do, I work with undergraduate students and graduate students. I think one of the most important parts of that is really making problem solving transparent. So I'm very much a network learner. When I have some really unique and deep problems, I often, obviously first I turn to myself in terms of what knowledge I have, but being able to connect to others to find some rich examples or answers, or get people to collaborate in different ways. I've done this just recently. That's John Becker. Recently, for instance, on a couple other problems that I've had, when I don't quite know the answer, for instance, we were looking for writing prompts for my students to look at what sort of things they could write about, what sort of things do teachers need to know as new teachers when it comes to technology in the classroom. So I put up about 10 writing prompts, and then I put it out to the network in a Google Doc, tweeted it out, and we ended up with about 70 authors and hundreds of different responses. And my students were able to see this transparently, that they get the idea that they don't have to answer every question alone, that there are other people that are going through the same things, that are doing similar things, have similar questions, and if you have a rich network, you can just really solve anything. And it doesn't matter how deep the question sometimes. It's just a matter of knowing how to leverage those networks and those connections and solve problems in a different way.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Nussbaum Beach. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I have two positions that I do. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Powerful Learning Practice, and then I also am a digital consultant with 21st Century Collaborative, where I travel around the world speaking about all kinds of topics, including that of marginalized populations like homelessness, technology, yada yada. Let's see, how do I model? That's a great question. One of the things that I do actively is I work in communities and networks, so there's a lot of opportunity to model for the people that are in those communities and networks. We're in the business of capacity building. We want to help people understand what their giftings are and how to do it, how to actually respond and engage in an online environment. So by modeling that through development of not only my online voice, and then also there's the modeling of the people that I work with. For instance, just recently I wrote a blog post, and the blog post was called Letter to the Staff. So I transparently shared what it was I wanted them to know as a way of modeling to the rest of the world for people that want to be transparent, open leaders, and showing them how to do that.
Hi, my name's Kathy Cassidy, and I teach grade 1 in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. I model for my students all day long. I model how to walk into the classroom, if that's necessary. I model, this is how we're going to show what we've learned in math. I model, this is how you work quietly by yourself. I model all day long.
Hi, my name is Maria Nee. I'm from Deerfield, New Hampshire, and I teach kindergarten. I model for my children by making sure that lots of questions get asked. I try to raise questions of my own and share them with kids, and I encourage them to ask those questions and more.
Hello, I'm Marie Scarce. I'm from Philadelphia. I model for my students even when I don't intend to. One day I lost my patience and yelled at them, but then 2 days later a kid was yelling at another kid. I took him out in the hallway and said, "How did you feel when I yelled at you? And this isn't the way to motivate your friend to work with you." So even when you don't intend to, you model.
My name's Leanne Reynolds. I am Associate Head of School at Hampton Roads Academy. And the question is, how do I model to my teachers? And I think the way you do it is you take risk as administrators and you allow your teachers to take risk without fear of failure.
Hi, my name's Mark Mancinelli. I'm Director of English at Camden County Technical Schools in New Jersey. The way I model for my students mostly is by trying to do in front of them the things that I wish they would do. So one of the things is be a lifelong learner. I tell them about what my grad school is like. I tell them about I went to a yoga class or something crazy like that. They love to hear that. I tell them I'm learning to swim. I try to keep learning. I try to tell them about keeping learning, and I try to tell them that it's fun and show them that I have a good time talking about it. So that hopefully they'll see that if somebody my age, because they think I'm old, can do those sorts of things and enjoy them, it'll carry with them when they're done high school into their adulthood, I hope.
Hello there, Mark Carls from CA Bosse's out in Western New York. And the question is, how do I model? I think back to when I was teaching with kids. Of course, I try to model how to solve a problem. My thing was to always use your best, to use good math-ish, math and English. I wanted the story behind things, so I always made sure I showed all the steps and used my whiteboard as a scrap board. It was like scrap paper. I would throw all my ideas down, then I would move over and say, now this is how I would actually write it up. And I encouraged my kids to show their ideas. I didn't care how they solved things, as long as they used good math-ish at the end to show it. Use scrap paper, get all your thoughts down however you're comfortable, and then give me the nice finished version. Thank you very much.
Hi, John. I'm Angela Myers, and I am a digital learner, and that's what I do every day. I learn out loud in front of other learners, showing them what life is like. So sometimes those learners are grown-up teachers, sometimes they're graduate students, and sometimes they're 5-year-olds. My behavior in modeling and demonstration never changes. So every day I start the day, thanks to David Warlick, with something that I've learned in the last 24 hours, demonstrating that knowledge changes rapidly and dynamically, and then modeling how I am figuring out as it goes, using my community and using the world that we now have privilege to be a part of in trying to manage that fantastic information stream, how to sift it, how to sort it, how to take action on it, how to manage it. That includes many, many learning tools, including the pencil and the pen, and I would die without Post-it notes. But I would die without the community around me helping me manage, because it's not filter failure. I mean, it's not information overload, it's filter failure, and that's what my network does, is every day helps me manage that. And so I learn out loud with and in front of people, no matter what audience. And I think that's the best thing that we can do, is show and demonstrate learning, and then talk about what overwhelms us, what excites us, what gets us up every day, what makes us frustrated, and most importantly, how does our community help us work out those questions and problems.
Hi, my name is Yoon Lim. I'm from Philadelphia area, and I'm on Twitter, Doremi Girl. I am a music teacher. I teach all variety of different kinds of levels. I love sitting in my classroom making music with my students. I model in a way that they can hear me. I can sing and model what a healthy voice would be. I also model in a way that I can talk to them with respect. I believe when I respect my students, they respond in a way that's very respectful. I also value what they're thinking. So I ask questions. I like for them to ask me questions. I also tell them that I'm not perfect, that I don't know everything, but I would like to know what they know, and I would like to learn as much as possible. I do tell my students that I learn every single day from my friends on Twitter, and the resources they share with me, and that has made me a better teacher. So I model in a way that I want to be transparent, and I want to share my life in a way that's real. So that's who I am, and that's how I like to teach. So rock on.